Hey, everybody. Hey, it's Kisa, Coach K. How are you doing today? I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. We're continuing our series and our study on relationship red flags. First and foremost, you may wonder, who the world am I? Well, I'm glad you asked. Okay, I'm glad you asked. I'm a 30-year communications professional, a certified life coach, and also the founder and chief product maker for now of All Shea Naturals, which is a Birmingham-based shea butter and sugar scrub personal products company. Where am I today? I am in downtown Birmingham on the north side, the historic civil rights district. I am in Creed, right? With my board and with my reminder of success. It says, embrace the challenge and always do your best. So let me encourage you in that as well, even in relationships. Embrace the challenge and always do your best, even as it relates to relationships. So as we continue on, we are talking about and looking at relationship red flags and just really doing a teaching and a coaching around what you need to look out for and how it shows up. So I love being here at Creed 63, by the way, which is in downtown Birmingham, Alabama. But it gives me an opportunity to kind of move and kind of write on the board, which I absolutely love as I just kind of teach and really talk through and coach all of us through these relationships, right? And relationship challenges and all that great stuff, y'all. True definition today of a messy bun, right? I just kind of threw this up. But hey, I have locks. And you know what? The purpose of locks is hair freedom. So there we go. All right, continuing on. And I was thinking about something very specific to share with you all today, okay? Very specific when you talk about relationship red flags. So that is the topic that we're going to round out this week, round out and finish and complete and all of that great stuff, okay? But relationship red flags, I was thinking about this morning and I wanted to share something with you as it relates to that. Because if we're not careful, you know, we can miss some things that are oh so subtle, but can be oh so intentional by our partners. And listen, I know normally I have an audience of women, but listen, guys, if it applies to you, take it as well. If the message applies to you, if there's some signs that you've seen that you need to be aware of, take it and utilize the information as well. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of talk through this one and use my board as well. Um, Relationship red flags. And let me start by asking you a story or maybe even sharing a personal story. So I've noticed a lot of people, and let me just sort of get my music under control here. I want you to really listen to me and what I'm saying here. Okay. All right. Have you noticed in relationships, have you ever been in a situation, okay, where you have been dealing with a guy or a young lady, a young gentleman or a young lady? Something happens along the course of the relationship. You're just going about, everything is just fine. And you're going about your way, but all of a sudden you notice that you've had a disagreement or you've had some sort of challenge that's come up that you all don't see eye to eye. So rather than that person saying to you, hey, this happened, I noticed this, I have an issue with this kind of concerned me, what you notice is they just kind of disappear. Okay. Yep, that's intentional what I just did. They disappear. They step out of the picture for a little while. And you're kind of like, what's going on? I thought everything was going okay yesterday or last week or whatever. And all of a sudden, whereas they were calling you every day, they're not calling. Or you reach out to them, hey, how are you doing? They're very cold. They're almost non-responsive. But this is a difference. This is a change from just a couple of days before, from just a week before. So what happened? So here's the most important thing that I want you to understand. It's not your job to figure out what happened as an adult. As adults, we presumably should have the opportunity and the ability to be able to speak our mind. And if you're in a relationship, if you're wanting to do what I call these mental gymnastics, okay? of passive aggressive behavior, you need to be careful. Has it happened to anyone other than me? You're talking, everything is fine, and just all of a sudden this person disappears or steps back. Because why? Because they're upset about something. Okay? So let me bring out my board, because if we're not careful, what these folks are doing in these relationship red flags is they're training us on how to behave and how to act, how they want to see us act. Okay? Because this is the point that I'm making in a relationship. We are all grown, okay, at this point. I normally have an audience with those who are 50 and above. So we are grown at this point. So if a person disappears, red flag, all of a sudden disappears with, and let me be very clear, okay, no explanation. No explanation. After an argument, or because they don't like something. Because they don't like something. I don't know if you can see my writing is clear. These are the only two pens that I have here, but basically I'm writing relationship red flags, okay? And what happens, I'm saying this disappearing behavior. It's also known as, have you heard of this term before? It's also known as, let me put it up here. Gosh, my pen is not doing good. My marker's not doing good. We're gonna have to just keep it going. It's also known as ghosting, okay? That's when someone disappears or all of a sudden abruptly changes everything up without letting you know. You can see there, ghosting, relationship red flags, okay? What is it doing? You have to be real careful, because what it's doing, if this person who disappears without notice, without warning, without a conversation, you have to be real careful with that, because what are they doing? I'll tell you what they're doing. They are subconsciously training you. If you deal with a person like this, they are subconsciously training you that whatever behavior that you've done or committed, whatever you've said, or what area or however you've acted, it's not pleasing to them, but rather looking front on and squaring you up as an adult. You see what I'm doing in the camera? Squaring you up as an adult and saying, I don't like this. I'm concerned about this. I wish this had have been whatever. No, they just kind of stand in the background and just start saying, okay, I'm going to cut them off. You see what I'm doing? They just start fading to the back, and eventually they disappear. Keep pulling this shirt, y'all. It keeps hanging out and doing all kind of weird stuff with me. But we're talking about behavior that is a red flag in relationships. It's ghosting. That's when a female or a male move out of the picture. They don't give you any warning, and they don't give you any explanation for the reasons of after an argument, especially. Watch this. Because if we're talking about being involved in a relationship with someone, do you really want to be involved in a relationship with someone who, after an argument, they leave you? Now, here's an exception to the rule. Let me be very careful when I say this, because I want to give all sides of the story here. In some instances, it's absolutely wise to do so. Why is that, Kisa? Because a person may need time to cool down before they say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. A person may need some time to think through, okay, and get the right answer instead of just responding, which could make things worse in some cases, okay? They may need some time to process. How many processors are out there? I'll speak for myself with this. I'm a processor. So there are times in relationships, if there are things that happen, I need time to process it. I don't want to have the responsibility all the time of just immediately giving you my reaction to something. I may need a little time to process it, or to be able to put it in the best words to tell you why I feel a certain way or how it affected me. That is not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about those people, those men and women who ghost you. All of a sudden, they're gone. Everything was going great. You were having wonderful conversation. You were doing wonderfully. And just all of a sudden, they disappear. Relationship red flags, no explanation. And then, oh, my favorite part, they reappear back. Oh, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Or my favorite thing, when they type out WYD, what you doing? It's kind of like you want to say, over here forgetting about you is what I'm doing, right? I will credit this to a relationship coach, Tony Gaskins, just because I believe that's the right thing to do. You have to be real careful too, ladies, when this happens, and even men, because in some instances, people are using that behavior to train you. A passive aggressive technique to train you to say, I don't like when you do certain things. I don't like when you operate a certain way. And in order to teach you or show you, okay, I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm going to withhold from you my presence. I'm going to withhold my time. I'm going to withhold something from you because I know that you want it. That type of behavior, a major relationship red flag. Tony Gaskins said this, and it really opened up a line of thought. When a person is doing that, no, it's your job to confront them and to say, listen, this is what I noticed. This is not how I operate. I mean, listen, is there anything you want to talk about? And then after you get that and get them to clear their air, if they're so willing to do it, because you know how some folks are when you ask them, I notice you're acting kind of funny. Everything okay? Oh, everything's fine. I'm good. It's not good. They know it's not good, but for whatever reason, they lack the emotional maturity to be able to tell you the truth. Okay? Talk about ghosting. Most times people with ghosting, they're not going to tell you that they are ghosting you. They just show up after whatever it is didn't work out, or after whatever it is has calmed down. Then they all of a sudden just show back up again like everything is okay. In some instances, we understand that, but listen, we're grown. We teach people how to treat us. We train people how to treat us. There are some instances where we can understand ghosting. Listen, if a guy or a young lady has found a new love, do you really want to know? Do you really want them to tell you, hey, I found a new love. I don't want you anymore. Sayonara. No, you don't want that, okay? In some cases, ghosting is good. It's still a relationship red flag. I'm not letting them off the hook. And if you've done that behavior before, I've done it before. Not often, but I've done it before. I'm not letting you off the hook. I'm not saying it's right. But what I'm saying is, in some cases, we understand, because do you really want to know? Do you really want to know everything that you think you do? Maybe that person was just using you to spend some time with you because they were bored. Maybe they saw something in you that they didn't like, or that they just could not tolerate. So they got the heck out of there. Do you really want to hear that? Do you really want to know that? So in some cases, some people don't really have that gift of communicating. And some people grew up in families, you all, where it was not comfortable or accepted that they speak their mind. So they're very uncomfortable with that. Okay? They don't know how. So instead of over-processing, instead of over-personalizing it, oh, it must be something wrong with me. Here goes whatever. Let's take these situations. Let's take these red flags, okay? In the event that it is a red flag, sometimes people ghost you and it's legitimate, okay? It may be legitimate. Hey, moved out of town, whatever, but you still have to make the decision as an adult to personally process it, personally come to terms with it, and let's move on. We're talking about relationship red flags. Ghosting is one of them. When a person just leaves you after an argument, or even maybe you thought things were great. I know some situations where, people say, women in particular, I thought everything was going great. We had a great time on the date and, didn't hear from him for 2 weeks to a month. That's ghosting. You understand? From everything, I'm not a man, but from everything that I'm studying, everything that I'm reading, all of my experiences, all of the experiences of my clients, men are not, what's the word? They will not leave room for doubt. If he wants you, he's going to let you know. If he wants you, He's going to let you know it's unequivocal what a man wants. And if there's doubt, if it's fishy, if it's iffy, likely not it, y'all. Sometimes we set ourselves up. This is a hard conversation and a hard statement. Sometimes we set ourselves up for things like this. They were already in and out. They were already a little peculiar. They were already acting strange, acting funny. I was trying to get the light off of it so you could see a little bit better, but I think the light is just going to be there. But in some cases, we set ourselves up for it in the sense that, now, am I saying it's right? No. But in the sense that we see their behavior is sketchy, but we're still going to hang in there, holding out for hope. Have you ever done that? I know I have. Oh, you fantasize, you get in your mind, you really like them, or, maybe they're just busy right now. They're not able to really call you. They're not really able to tell you because, oh, he's just scared, he's intimidated by a successful woman. So maybe he doesn't know what to say to me. And maybe he's just holding back. He's so shy, or he's been hurt in a relationship before. Forget it. Who has all that time to go through all those mental gymnastics? Forget it, y'all. Come on. I'm trying to wake us up here. Wake us up in the relationship arena. Relationship red flags. We need to see them. We need to acknowledge them, and we need to deal with them. And then we need to move on. I'm Kisa. Ghosting as a relationship red flag. If someone gives you the boot and is not man enough or woman enough to let you know about it, just disappears. Listen, you need to be man enough and woman enough to tell them, no, I don't appreciate that. And sir or madam, unless you have an exceedingly great reason for doing it, peace. Give you the peace sign. Okay. Listen, I'm straight no chaser because we're playing around too much, y'all. We're playing around and wasting time. Back tomorrow, 6 o'clock, with another segment, shortening these segments some and getting right to the point, right? So relationship red flag, ghosting. See you tomorrow at 6 p.m. with another one.